Hi everyone, I'm Cousin Sitka and I'm back with a new video. So I'm sorry I couldn't upload any videos for like 2 months because I was diagnosed with dengue and it was a very painful experience, like the most worst experience for me in my lifetime. I've never gotten so sick and it took me a very long time to like recover, and I also had some assessments going on in my school, so there were a lot of pressures and I was busy, so I couldn't upload any videos, so sorry for that. But today, we're actually talking about what happened to me, my dengue experience. One day I was like running around and I felt kind of dizzy, and I was like, what the hell, why am I feeling so dizzy? So then I started to feel very heated up. So when I touched my forehead, I saw that I had fever, and I'm really scared of my mom, so I was scared to tell my mom that I had fever because she would always like shout at me that you spend so much time bathing and now you have a fever. So I was scared to tell my mom. But then my aunt was diagnosed with dengue before me, so everyone was a lot tensed. So when I got a fever, I was very tensed that I shouldn't tell anyone. But somehow my mom found out that I have fever, and then 3 days passed. My condition was getting very not okay. It was getting worse. I was not getting better. My fever would go up to 105 degrees Celsius, and my body was getting weaker. And when they said that I needed to test dengue, so my family was like, we already tested once, and that time the report was negative, so they thought we don't need to do it. But as my condition was getting worse and worse, they eventually thought that okay, one more test won't hurt. So this time it was dengue positive. So very painful for me that it was positive. I was very scared. So my parents were like hurrying that they're giving me fruits and juices and making me eat healthy. But my problem was that I couldn't eat anything. Every time I tried to eat, I vomited, I threw up all over the place, and it was a very, that was the worst situation. So one day it was afternoon, 1 a.m., and things were getting really worse. I was feeling so tensed. So I was like, Mom, rush me to the hospital. So they rushed me to the hospital, and the dengue situation was so much that there were all seats were booked. I couldn't have a seat. So my mom then called a friend of mine. Her mother said that she will arrange something for us. So then we went to a hospital, and thanks to my friend's father, I got admitted to the hospital. I was there for 9 days. Not 9 days, less than 9 days, but it felt like 9 days I was staying there. It's pretty easy to say that yeah, I had dengue, oh, it's just only a fever, I needed to eat well, and it was only 6 to 9 days, not much of a trouble. But the thing was, first of all, the situation was tense because we couldn't find any seats or cabinets for me, and I couldn't get admitted. So then my friend's father came rushing to the hospital, and he arranged a seat for me. I was pushed some injections, and there was a cannula in my hand. So for 6 to 9 days, I had a cannula in my right hand, in my veins, unchanged for 6 to 9 days. One unchanged cannula for 6 to 9 days is very painful. My hands were blown up. They were like this much fat. They're like continuously I was taking some doses of salines and then other medicines that would refrain me from vomiting all over the place. So the most painful part was that first of all, I couldn't eat anything. I was getting weaker and weaker every day, and the blood inside my body was getting deducted. I don't know how, but the doctor said I was in lack of blood really much, and I was getting paler and paler. Every day they came and tested out how much my platinate was, and things weren't getting better. My platinate was just going downer and downer, and things started to heat up even more. Like I was in a cabinet, and a girl my age was just right beside my cabinet. So 3 days after when I was admitted in the cabinet, my situation was getting worse and worse. So suddenly there was all over crying all over the outside. So my aunt and my mom rushed there to what happened. And the girl who was beside me in my cabinet, she shifted like 2 days ago. The doctor said that she's in her last stage. They gave up. She's getting kicked out of the hospital because they don't have any chance. She can no longer be saved. So that was very painful, and I cried every single day while I was there. It felt like a dungeon, a hell. I cried every day. I missed everyone. I would get regular calls from home. I would get regular calls from my brother, and he would say that everything's going to be okay. And I would get regular calls from my father, my uncles, but still, it felt like hell. And I cried so much that my eyes were all red and I couldn't see. So at the last day when I begged the doctor, when he came to see me, I begged him that I want to go home. So he said that my platelet level needs to rise at least to 1020, and if my platelet goes up to 1020, he would let me go. So I was praying all night that please, my platelet it must grow at this time. So I was praying that please, I wanted to increase. So that actually worked. My praying was not in vain. The next day when they came to test my platelet, the test was that I had 1020. So the doctor said, fine, you can go home. And I was so relieved. I was so, I was still crying tears. I was so happy. So yeah, that was my story. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to give videos all these days, but I'm going to upload these regularly now. Thank you for watching, and I hope you liked my video. Bye!